Today, June 26, 2021, marks the 125th anniversary of the publication of the works of Geoffrey Chaucer by the Kelmscott Press, a landmark volume in the history of fine printing. The Kelmscott Press was created in January 1891 by William Morris, a British writer, designer, political activist, and a major figure of the arts and craft movement.
William Morris has been revered as an artist and craftsman of print. After he died in 1896, his friends and admirers published this anthology, The Art and Craft of Printing, in 1902, which collects several of his writings on the work of print. A note by William Morris on his aims in founding the Kelmscott Press describes how he made books with the hope of producing some which would have a definite claim to beauty, while at the same time they should be easy to read and should not dazzle the eye, or trouble the intellect of the reader by eccentricity of form in the letters. He wanted to make pretty books.
These principles are those of the arts and crafts movement, which advocated for social reform of the industrial society and good craftsmanship over factory-produced goods. William Morris contributed lyrics to a number of songs associated with the labor movement of the time. Some were included in this 1888 collection, such as The Voice of Toil and No Master. Artists and designers looked to the Middle Ages and folk traditions for sources of inspiration. The earliest surviving manuscript of Chaucer's Canterbury Tales is held in the Huntington Library, and it is known as the Ellesmere manuscript. We have here a facsimile of the manuscript, which is a useful example of how such books were designed in the 14th century.
The Canterbury Tales was among the classics of popular literature that were printed by William Caxton, the first printer in England. Many of his books were literally read to pieces during this early period, and while the RBML has several volumes he produced, we have only a single leaf from his first edition of this particular work. It is taken from The Parson's Tale, and close readers will note that the language is already beginning its shift from the Middle English of Chaucer's day to the more modern English we use today. It begins, "To such lords that sustain the wickedness of our servants." The spelling isn't regularized, but we can clearly understand the words.
Morris was especially interested in reproducing medieval style aesthetics with modern technology, which led directly to his crowning achievement, the Kelmscott Edition of Chaucer's works. And here you can see how Morris rendered that same passage from The Parson's Tale.
Unfortunately, the Kelmscott Press only operated for about 7 years, closing after Morris's own death. But members of his crafting circle continued to be influential both in the popularity of their designs and in the legacies of his students. Among them was Elizabeth Yates, sister to the poet William Butler Yeats, who later returned to Dublin and helped found the Dunn Emmer Press in 1902. This press was inspired by the Celtic Revival movement and named for Emmer, the wife of the Irish hero Cuchulainn. This example from their workshop, In the Seven Woods, consists of a number of poems as well as a short play about Cuchulainn. Much like the Kelmscott Press, the Dunn Emmer studio would last only a handful of years, but it would evolve into the Cuchulainn Press and continue to operate for almost 4 decades.
The Cuchulainn cycle inspired another attempt at reviving medieval manuscript techniques. The Fate of the Children of Uznar is a manuscript crafted around 1904 by Edward Johnston with possible involvement by Eric Gill. Using a translation by Lady Gregory, they produced a new manuscript in medieval style. As you can see, the attention to details and lettering and illustration is quite stunning.
We hope you've enjoyed this exploration of some of the items in our collections. For some more fun, we've made free downloadable coloring pages from the Kelmscott Chaucer so that you too can enjoy the arts and crafts movement at home or wherever you are.
Yes, wherever you are. We also want to thank our colleague Ruth Ann Mallory, who's been tirelessly filming and editing the videos we've been making for the past year. Thanks, Ruth Ann!
Thanks, Ruth Ann!